not to mention for their seniors, Nikki, this is the last time they're going to play in the Mepham gym.
They are.
Yeah, so Nikki, this is the last time the seniors are going to play in the Mepham gym, so they're very excited for this matchup tonight.
Okay. I was trying to get a message across. Okay.
So it looks like Mepham is going to get the first serve tonight. It looks like Mepham is going to have the first serve today in this game with Jake Maxwell serving first to the Pirates. As Farmingdale is going to break and they are going to get ready to start. So Jake Maxwell is coming back to the line for the Pirates for the first serve of this game.
Maxwell has 28 aces this year, and he hopes to just get his powerful serve as he steps up to serve and over to the barrel, and he sets up its outside. Looks like it's in.
And that is a fantastic kill by Jake Mariachi of Farmingdale. He's only a junior, and he's very excited for this matchup tonight. As now we have Colin McNamara to line to serve.
Kyle McQuillan, and James Tarantino hits it out of bounds.
Yeah, Mepham is just going to send that just wide of the line, and now we will have McNamara back again to serve. And that one just short over the net. Tai Chang is going to go for it, but it is just short. Farmingdale again with the serve.
And McQuillan sets it up. And again.
And you know, one of Farmingdale's keys to the game was blocking, and right there they had a fantastic block on that play.
And Mepham was just unable to receive that one. It was really tight up against the net, and now McNamara goes to serve again to Seligman, to McQuillan, and the block was wide. Mepham point.
And thank you for bearing with us. I am Michaela Dobby alongside Nikki Saracini, and we will be your sportscasters for this first set of this Mepham versus Farmingdale game tonight for boys volleyball.
Luke Yepes with the serve. Sets up the middle, and there's a block, but Mepham's unable to get it back over.
We're loud.
26.
And now Farmingdale, we have Lucas Frenzel going back to serve for the Farmingdale Dalers.
And serves. McQuillan sets it up, and Tarantino hits it.
And what a swing there by John Tratino. I mean, just a junior for the Mepham Pirates, but he's a fantastic outside hitter, and he really uses his skill of being able to place the ball as a big green light for his gameplay. And now Kyle McQuillan serving for the Pirates. And what a great play by Kyle McQuillan there. He puts it right between the two serve receivers. Neither could really get to it, and that'll be an ace for the Pirates.
And McQuillan again.
A little aggressive on that play, but you know, after his ace in the last play, that's something you want to do as a server. Sometimes it'll go in, sometimes it won't, but it was a great thought in Kyle's mind.
And now for Farmingdale, Jake Marchetti goes to serve. Serves short.
And you know, that jump topspin serve is one of the most deadly serves in volleyball. When that serve works, it's going to work. So if I was Mepham, I'd be a little nervous to see that serve later. But you know, the Pirates do have great serve receivers. And now for the Pirates, we have Riley Adams coming in to serve and play back row.
And the serve is just a little wide. And it's going to be the Dailers' point.
No, I feel like as Mepham goes on, they really need to focus on just putting the ball in the court because that's going to be something very important for them. As now Farmingdale's libero to serve.
To McQuillan, and
What a swing there by Jake
James
Maxwell. That was such a fantastic swing. Great starting pass by Braden Seligman. Great set by Kyle. And Maxwell got it right off of the hands of the Farmingdale team as now Braden Seligman back to serve for the Pirates.
and they set up the middle, and a good touch by Seligman, but just a bit wide.
Yeah, and those are, I would say as a volleyball player, a middle attack is the hardest to really defend
receive.
because you really, most of the time we're only going to have one blocker. So the blocker really needs to position themselves in a great spot. And even when they're in that great spot, it's still such a hard ball to pass. The middle comes so fast to hit it, hits it so hard.
And it's a low set, so it's super quick.
The lowest set in the whole game. What a pass there by Riley Adams. It goes right over, and that is going to be Pirates' point.
Chris Cruciata tried to get that one over there, but he was unable to do so.
Now Tai Chang will be checking in for Anthony Francolini for the Pirates, and Tai Chang back to serve.
Serve is up. And they set up. The libero gets it over. Tai Chang to McQuillan.
And it looks like they're not going to make a net call there after that block. And the Farmingdale is going to hit it right into the Mepham block hands, and it's just going to fall. A little bit of a miscommunication, but that is a very hard ball to get back up after that block touch. As now Chris Crusita back to serve for the Dailers.
The serve goes right to Adams, to McQuillan, and he sets up Maxwell. They set the outside, and it falls right behind the blockers.
And again, there's a smart play by Jake Marchetti for the Dailers. Puts it right over the block, gets a touch on the very top of the block, and it's just going to fall right down.
I think a huge part of this game so far has already been just the placement.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Nikki.
And McQuillan sets up Maxwell again. And then they set the outside. It's a little close to the net. And libero sets up the outside.
And they are going to call a double on that for the Dailers. A double is kind of a different call this year. They can no longer call a double if you're setting on your side of the net. But if you're going to set it over the net and do contact 2 different times, they are going to call that a double. Just a new fun fact for this year, Nikki. Now Jake Maxwell is going to be in the back row serving for the Pirates.
And he serves libero. He set up the middle. He gets it over to McQuillan. Tarantino, just a bit wide. And it's going to be the Dailers' point.
And I feel like this is a very balanced game, Nikki. Like both teams, I feel like have their strengths, and they're trying to play to their strengths, but also the other team's weakness, which also could be a difficult thing to do. As great pass there by Seligman, right to the middle, Luke Yepes, and the Dailers are going to play it back over the net.
To McQuillan. Oh, McQuillan just tips it.
Such
that was a very smart play by McQuillan.
And
the other team was not expecting that.
Yeah, since Mepham is running a 5-1, which means they have 5 hitters, 1 setter, when Kyle's in the front row, he can jump, he could hit, which is really beneficial for the Pirates.
So they set up the outside once again, and he hits right down the line. That's really hard to receive as well, right on the line.
As a setter who plays in 1, I agree with that statement.
Yes, me too.
And now we have Lucas Frenzel, the freshman, back to serve for the Dailers.
Serve. Tai Chang to libero.
And they are going to call it looks like they were going to call a net, but then they weren't so sure about it. So we are going to replay that point. But I want to give Kyle McQuillan a shout out on that one.
That was a great
fantastic
save.
Rundown. That was great, Kyle. If you watch this later.
Frenzel, just a bit short. And now McQuillan goes back to serve for the Pirates.
Yeah, so now you're going to see that Kyle McQuillan, when he's in the back row, he can't jump and hit over like he just previously did. But now they're going to have that third hitter on the right side, which is, it depends what you're really looking for in an offense, but both could be great options as McQuillan serves it over.
And they set up the outside again. Their outside hitter has been so strong this game. They just keep setting him up because they know he's been successful.
And this is his first year playing volleyball, Nikki. I mean, for a first year playing volleyball,
It's very impressive.
he's a very good volleyball player, I will say that.
And now he goes back to serve. Jake Marchetti with the serve to Braden Seligman. And there's Jazak. It's over, and the setter sets up the outside. And Fink hits it over, but it's a bit wide.
A little too strong there for the Pirates, but I feel like they're starting to get in their rhythm, especially with their passing, putting balls right to Kyle's hands, so they could really run a good offense off of
I
that.
think the biggest thing is just keeping the ball in play for both teams, not hitting too far out as that serve goes wide.
Yeah, just out there, and now we are going to have Riley Adams checking back in for the Pirates. Riley, coach says, is the most consistent player on the team, which is something that a coach can't say about everyone, and that really just means a lot to know you're a player who's looked at in such a great way, as Riley Adams puts it right over the net. So close, just I think like a centimeter out.
Yeah.
Love to have seen that a little closer up, but I have a lot of faith in Riley. Riley's a fantastic player, fantastic back row player outside, one of the main hitters on the team, all-around player. So what a pass there by Seligman. Seligman to Yepes. Yepes to Maxwell. It's going to get blocked. Back over by Seligman. Maxwell's going to jump
blocked.
and tip. What a stop by Maxwell.
Jazak, and they set the outside. And Seligman tries to touch it, but it goes wide.
I think if you're the Pirates right now, the one thing you really need to focus on is your blocking.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing that the two things that Mepham's struggling with really are their passing, because the hits are so strong, and just getting used off the blocks. So that's something I really want to focus on. As Riley Adams going to send it over the Pirates. Farmingdale's going to run an offense. The set's going to be just wide. And now the Pirates are going to get back the ball. They're down 5, 16-11. And this is the point where they really need to capitalize, as we have Braden Seligman back to serve in the libero jersey, and Luke Yepes coming in the front row.
Serve is up. And they set up the middle. Tips it over to Adams, to McQuillan. And Yepes hits it, but it's blocked. To McQuillan, he sets him up again. And it goes over. And the setter tries to tip it to Adams, to McQuillan. And Fink hits it just short.
And I will say, on the setter's part for Farmingdale, that's a very smart play, as he just knocks it up to his teammate. Like, when you're in the net like that as a setter, it's very hard to get it off the net. So that was a very smart decision. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's only a freshman, Nikki.
Yeah.
Like, wow. We have a fun fact about him, but we'll say that later. We'll save it. We gotta keep watching to find out. As that one is going to be an ace for Farmingdale. Just short, and Mepham is going to call a timeout.
What have you seen, Michaela, from both sides? What do you think have been strengths in this game? Is there anything that sticks out to you, like, as a weakness?
Okay, so I know I mentioned it before, but for Mepham, I think the big thing is their blocking. You don't want the other team to be able to tip off the top of your block for it to just fall, but you also want to put up a really solid block that you're taking pressure away from your defense, because right now for Mepham, they're having a lot of pressure on the back row. Now, on the other hand, Farmingdale is doing a great job with their setting and their hitting. One thing I feel like they are struggling a tiny bit with is their serve receive, but at the same time, Mepham isn't always getting it in. I do see a great swing there by Farmingdale on that replay. They're really very in sync. You could tell their setter is very in sync with their hitters, and that is proving to be a benefit for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
So now, as we get back on the court, it is going to be Farmingdale serve. You have Lincoln Capolino serving for the Dalers. He's a back row player, doesn't really play in the front, but the team really relies on his passing and his aggression when he's going to the ball in the back, which is really an asset for a volleyball player.
serves just over to Maxwell. And McQuillan sets Maxwell up, tips it over, and they set it out wide. And it's blocked by Yepes and Fink on the outside.
But they are going to call an over-the-net violation on the Pirates, basically saying that the blocker's hand were over the plane of the net, so they're going to give that call to Farmingdale. I'm not sure that I agree with that call, but you know what?
It was a little bit delayed of a call.
It was a little delayed of a call, but yeah.
As Capolino goes back to serve again. And he serves on the line.
Yeah, I think Jake Maxwell tried to have his
close.
foot right on the line there,
Yeah.
and it literally just squeaked out the last possible second of that white tape on the ground or court.
And the serve to Maxwell. McQuillan sets up Maxwell. And
Pirates
the
point on
Dalers
that.
try to block, and it went out.
Yeah,
So that will
Maxwell.
be the Pirates'
Maxwell
ball.
used that block really well, just hitting right into it, turning his body so that the ball would deflect off of the block out of bounds. Very smart play, and Braden Seligman was there in case it landed in bounds to get it back up. But they didn't need to do that on that one. Ty Chang serving for the Pirates.
So Libero overpass. And they set up the middle. And Seligman makes a great play.
Yepes up to
Yepes.
McQuillan, and back to Yepes, just out of bounds for the Pirates.
That was a great play by Seligman, using that touch. He couldn't get there fully with his hands, but he used his foot and just got it over. That was a great play.
So I feel like the past couple of points, the Pirates have been, I don't want to say, how do I word this? That Farmingdale's really capitalized these past few points. The Pirates have kind of fallen into a hole, so this is really at their score 21-12. The Pirates really need to fight back here, push for every point. Now down 10. The Pirates really need to settle in and just get ready for the next set. Could be a long game.
And the serve is up. As they set up Maxwell, but he hits it out wide.
So that is going to be Farmingdale's point again. Now they are up 23-12 in the first set of the game.
And there's the serve to Maxwell. And sets up Adams.
Yepes
And-
is up there, and Maxwell up again, and he is going to go into the net on that play. That is what the refs are going to call, and now it is game point, I believe, for Farmingdale. Game point,
Yeah.
yes. Chris Crusita back to serve for the Dalers.
And serves up to Maxwell, goes over to the libero. They set up middle. He pushes it over to McQuillan, to Maxwell, to libero. And they set up back row. Seligman makes a nice pass to McQuillan, and Yepes gets it over. The Dalers try to block, but they just cannot get it on the other side.
So Maxwell back to serve for the Pirates now. I mean, Jake Maxwell, he's an integral piece of this Pirates team. Only a junior, but he's done some amazing things for the Pirates this season.
To libero, and he sets up back row again. And McQuillan puts it over the net. And they set up their middle, and he gets that last point for the Dalers, who have just taken this set.
So, I mean, first set, if you're the Pirates right now, Nikki, what is in your mind, I would say, is like trying to bounce back to the next set?
I think really just controlling that they're hitting and they're serving, and just I think they're being very aggressive, and that's always a good thing, but I also think just maybe a bit more of like control.
And Nikki, if you want to talk more sports, what do we need to do? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
You can tune into the first episode of Sports Talk coming out later this month, where we dive deeper into the Mepham soccer teams as they carry out their division. And now I'm joined by Jared Broxmeyer, who will be here with me for the second set.
Yeah, in that first set, I just saw the Dalers, when the Pirates made slight mistakes, the Dalers always capitalized. Like those serves that went out of bounds, and they just bounced back with great serves.
Yeah.
As here's a replay of just such an amazing spike, but it's a great save there by the Pirates, and the Dalers ended up fighting back with it and ended up going on to win the point.
Yeah, I think Mepham so far has just really been like running all over the place, being aggressive, and working hard. While the Dalers are more like controlled. On the other hand, like their passes are more like to the setter, and the sets are just like exactly where they should be. Because I think just their serve receive is just so great that first pass just really sets up everything else, and the first pass has been so strong for them.
Yeah, the Dalers coaches wanted them, coming into this game, they wanted them to be able to block a lot at the net, and you're seeing that in that first set. They blocked at least a couple points there on the Pirates, and also they were very aggressive and making the key passes to get those points. But also the Pirates, they had the good spikes, but they just put a little too much air on it. Like, they can take a little power off of those spikes. It can end up capitalizing in a lot of points.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the points that they just missed out on were just serves or just hits that were a little wide, that if they kept it in play, they could have really it could have been more of a competitive game. But I think that they're looking to turn around this set, and I think that they could.
Yeah, and right here we're going to highlight senior BMB's very own Kyle McCollum, who's just their biggest setter. 212 assists on the year is crazy. 61 digs and 12 aces. One of the top players out there. And the serve here by the Dalers is up. Hit by Adams. Chang, and it will go out of bounds to give the Dalers a 1-0 lead in set 2. Back to serve for the Dalers is Cruciata. As Cruciata with the serve, it's up and over, and a diving play made by Seligman, but it will sail too far out of bounds for a 2-0 lead in the set for the Dalers.
Seligman is definitely one of those players on the Pirates that's willing to be super aggressive, just diving around for all those balls. And
Cruciata to Adams. Adams to McQuillan. Maxwell now with it, with the light hit. Returned by the Dalers and right back over. McQuillan. And it's up, and a big spike there made by Marchetti. Marchetti's just been a big player on the net and making the key plays when needed.
Marchetti's in his first year playing volleyball. Very impressive season so far.
And the serve here is up. Maxwell with the set to McQuillan. Tip back to Yepes, and it'll end up going just out of bounds to give the Dalers a 4-0 lead. As the refs now change their call, saying that the Dalers tipped it, as it'll be Maxwell serving here now. 3-1 Dalers in the set. Pirates trying to tie it up. And the serve here by Maxwell is up and returned by the Dalers. Chang now with it. Over to McQuillan. McQuillan to Adams. Adams spike, and it'll be tipped out of bounds, as it'll be a point here for the Pirates to make it 3-2. As Maxwell here with the serve. And the serve by Maxwell's up. Returned by the Dalers. Right back over McQuillan to Adams. Back to McQuillan. Right back over to Cruciata. And it's up, and it'll sail out of bounds by the Dalers to tie it up at 3. Maxwell just looking very dominant as the server with great serves. And the serve by Maxwell is up and returned by Sundi, as it'll be over the net by the Dalers as the Pirates take a 4-3 lead. As Maxwell still serving here. Ref's debating the call, as it will stay Pirates point. The serve by Maxwell is up and returned by Sundi. Sundi to Funzel. To Kusiata. Chang now with it. Over to McQuillan. Adams now with it. Blocked off the net. Seligman puts it over. Funzel. Spike is blocked by McQuillan. Another spike there by the Dalers, as it'll end up going just in, as Marchetti with another big spike. Just a relentless play there made by Marchetti, as he gets blocked the first time, doesn't shake him, and he gets another spike. As serving will be McNamara, and McQuillan puts it right over into the open space for 5-4 Pirates lead.
McQuillan's been making very smart plays today. He just knows where the Dalers players are and where there are open spots on the court, and just hits them to those open spots.
And Yepes with the serve to Capolino. And the spike there blocked by Jazak and McQuillan. Chang. Adams now with it. Returned. Dalers put it right back over. McQuillan. Jazak with a little hit, as they will call net on the Dalers, as it will be a 6-4 lead for the Pirates. As Yepes here back for the serve. And the serve by Yepes is up, and it is great play by Kusiata, able to keep it in. McQuillan now to Jazak, and a diving play by the Dalers. Jazak to McQuillan, finds open space as it forces Funzel to make a diving play. Not able to come up with that one, as it'll be a 7-4 lead for the Pirates. As Yepes with the serve. Yepes, as he will sail it a little out of bounds, as it'll be a point there for the Dalers, and it'll be Funzel back to serve. As Funzel getting ready, as it's his first year on varsity, and Funzel serves it into the net as an 8-5 Pirates lead. As it's McQuillan back here for the serve. McQuillan with the jump serve. It's up. And Marchetti with a hit. Adams over. Funzel now with it. Sundi. McQuillan over to Adams. Adams returned by Sundi. Maxwell able to keep it alive. McQuillan now back over. And Marchetti with another big spike. Whenever they get in those long rally points, it usually ends up coming up to the net for a Marchetti spike. As Marchetti will be back serving in an 8-6 game. Marchetti with the serve. Returned by Adams to McQuillan. Jazak over. Funzel. Marchetti to McQuillan. Jazak. Right back over. Marchetti. And a little too much power put on that one by Cruciata, as it'll be a point for the Pirates. 9-6 Pirates. As here's a replay of just that spike by Marchetti. Just a powerful spike, as Adams with the serve. And Adams serves it off the top of the tape. 9-7 Pirates. As Sundi back here for the serve. Sundi getting ready. And the serve by Sundi is up. Seligman to McQuillan. McQuillan to Maxwell. As it's tipped. Marchetti gets a piece. Funzel. As it's off the pole. So it'll be a point for the Pirates. And Seligman will be back to serve as Yepes comes back in for Jazak. And the serve by Seligman is up. Returned by Marchetti. And it's up, and the Dale is not able to get it over. 11-7 Pirates. As it'll be a timeout here for the Dalers. Pirates leading 11-7.
I think the Dalers players are really, just need to play with more confidence. I think they're starting to lose confidence as they're down by 4. And I think the hope during this timeout is that they just reconvene, they get themselves together, and they just play with more confidence.
Now highlighting BMB's very own Film Fest, which within the next couple days, a new episode will be posted, and it'll be the Horror Film Festival to get you just in the mood for the Halloween season. But another thing is, the Pirates, you're seeing the serving just turn the game around, and the Pirates just all around serving and just look more confident on all realms of the ball.
Yeah, I definitely think they're playing more confident with more control this set, and I think they're really looking to turn this game around.
As Seligman getting ready to serve, up by 4. And the serve by Seligman is up. Returned by Marchetti, and it's up, and Adams takes it and puts it right back over. Marchetti finds it with the set. Tipped by Yepes. McQuillan. Yepes blocked, as they will call
net on the Pirates. So it'll be a Daler's point.
As a substitution here, as Capolino will come back in for Asensio. As it'll be Capolino going right back there to serve. As Capolino with the serve, and it's up. Hit by Adams. McQuillan now with it, and over and blocked. Big block there made by Cruciata to secure the Dales a point. And the serve here is up off of Maxwell. And it'll end up going out of bounds as a Pirates point is scored. 12-9 Pirates. As it'll be Chang back there to serve as the Pirates make a substitution, bringing back Maxwell. Now highlighting Mepham's very own junior libero, Braden Seligman, who's just been a huge backbone of this team, just been unbelievable. He's the most coachable player and he always hustles.
He really has been hustling this game and this set and last set. He's just been all over the court, not afraid to just dive to get a dig and just save every ball that he can.
As the refs here discussing that last point, maybe having to do with how McQuillan went under the net to play the ball, but the refs may have thought that it already was out. So the refs talking it over with the teams as they will make their decision, and the decision will stick with Pirates point and Chang serve. And the serve by Chang is up and returned by Marchetti to Funzel. McQuillan now with it. Yepes kept up by Capolino. Funzel, Marchetti, as it'll be too many hits there by the Dalers. 13-9 Pirates.
I think both teams this set especially have really been in the right spot to cover, and it's been really effective.
As the Pirates stay strong at the net, as Yepes with a big play there. 14-9 Pirates. As the senior Chang with the serve, and it's up off the top of the tape. 14-10 Pirates. As it looks like it'll be Cruciata back there, as he's been one of their more dominant servers on the day. As Cruciata with the serve, and it's up, and Adams over to Maxwell. And Marchetti with the spike off of Chang's hand, as it'll be a point there for the Dalers. Marchetti there with another spike to gain him another point. As Cruciata back there with the serve. Cruciata off the net. 15-11. Pirates. As a substitution here as Maxwell with the serve. Maxwell up, returned by Sundi. And Mochetti with the spike. Maxwell able to handle it, but the Pirates can't get it back over. 15-12.
That was a really great touch by Maxwell, doing whatever he needed to do. He stuck an arm out to just take that hit and just try and let his teammates get a chance to get
And
that one.
McNamara with the serve to Adams. McQuillan back to Adams. Adams with the spike and securing the point. 16-12 Pirates after the spike by Adams, as it'll be Jazak coming back in for Seligman. As Yepes back there for the serve. As Yepes over and returned, and a big block there by McQuillan and Jazak, as the Pirates are fired up after that one. As highlighting senior Luke Yepes, who has 64 kills on the year and 13 blocks and just has been dominant. The serve by Yepes is up and returned by Capolino. And Jazak not able to get there, as it'll be a point for the Dalers, as Yepes will be coming out and Seligman subbing back in. And on the other side, Asensio will be coming back in for Capolino. As back there to serve is Liggio. As Liggio with the serve is up. Seligman plays it over to McQuillan. Jazak. Mochetti with the spike, and it will be in as another point for Mochetti off a spike. And here's a replay of just the spike by Mochetti attempted, and a big block there made by Kyle McQuillan. And the serve by Liggio is up. Maxwell over to McQuillan. McQuillan, Adams with it now. Diving play there made by Sundi. As Mochetti, McQuillan, Jazak, as they will call.
They're calling net against the Pirates. So that will be the Dalers' point.
As Liggio making key serves here, picking up the last 2 points, trying to make it 3 in a row. As Liggio with the serve, Maxwell over to McQuillan, who's not able to get it on the right part of his hand, as it'll be 17-16 Pirates.
Pirates call a timeout, just trying to regroup a little bit. They had a big lead, a decent lead, and the Dalers have just come back and kind of cut that lead. Now they're only down by 1, and the Pirates want to make sure that they just build more momentum so that they don't end up behind.
As it looks like the big momentum changer has been junior Vincent Riggio. He's been coming back from an injury, and he's just made the key serves to get him the last couple points, and then he's going back out there after the timeout to try and serve for the tie after the Dalers were down a couple. He's just been a huge player right here. He's been splitting minutes, but if he keeps this up, he will end up earning his full playing time.
Yeah, and a big thing with timeouts, too, is they kind of just break the rhythm, so it's especially important on those big, like, serving runs that the timeout kind of just messes with the server's rhythm, as he was kind of in like a groove, and now he's just like less momentum.
And Liggio getting ready for the serve. And the serve by Liggio, looking for the tie as Liggio serves it, returned by Maxwell, and it's blocked as McQuillan tries to get it back over, as it's a tie game here, as the Dalers have fought all the way back with Liggio serving 4 straight points. And Liggio lining it up. Maxwell over to McQuillan. McQuillan to Jazak, blocked. And they set it up for a spike here by Mochetti. Pirates able to get a piece. McQuillan over to Adams. Mochetti. Back to Mochetti. Chang to McQuillan. Jazak back over, as they'll call too many hits on the Pirates, as it'll be another serve by Liggio, as Liggio just keeps on serving well, as it's 18-17 Dalers. And the serve by Liggio is up. Adams, McQuillan, back to Adams for the spike. Blocked by Sundi as Marchetti with the spike. Seligman able to stay with it as it's Liggio with the set. And the Dale is not able to get it over. The Pirates get a clutch point there to tie it up and maybe break the Dale's rhythm.
That may have been a momentum change for the Pirates, because that dig was absolutely insane by Seligman.
And the serve by McQuillan. McQuillan with the serve, returned by Marchetti. Liggio sets to Marchetti. Tipped by the Pirates. Goes over, Marchetti plays back over. Jazak, McQuillan, back to Jazak. Sundi plays it, and the Dalers are unable to handle it. 19-18 Pirates, as here's a replay of just the spike by Marchetti, and what a dig there by Seligman. And the serve by McQuillan. Over, Sundi returns. Marchetti with the off hit. Adams now with it. As it almost into the crowd. Seligman with a diving play there as Liggio sets it up. And a spike there, tipped by the Pirates. As it'll be a point there for the Dalers to tie it at 19. Just a key spike there by Marchetti off the edge of the Pirates' fingertips. As back there to serve, it will be Marchetti. Looking for some big points here in the tie game. As Marchetti going to discuss maybe the last point. As it'll stay as Marchetti back there for the serve. As both teams waiting and making their claims of the point, it'll stand. Marchetti for the serve, looking for the lead. And the serve by Marchetti is up and off the net, 20-19 Pirates. That'll be the senior Adams back there trying to get the clutch points here to get the Pirates to pull away over the Dalers. Adams lining up the serve, and it's up and returned by Sundi. Liggio sets it, and a spike there made by Cruciata as the Dalers bench is fired up after tying it back up at 20. As a timeout called here by the Dalers, and here's a replay of just how fired up the Dalers were after that big spike by Cruciata.
That was one of those hits that were just in such a good position, too quick for anyone to get to, and just they really capitalized on that play. Make sure to tune in to the BMB morning announcements every Friday morning to see your favorite personalities, faces, and news stories to keep you up to date on things in and around the Bellmore-Merrick community.
Yeah, the morning announcements are one of Mepham's biggest hits there. Just everyone always tunes in, and it's how great how all the teachers play it in their classrooms just every week. And the serve here by Sundi, looking for a lead as both teams are holding their own. As Sundi to Seligman. McQuillan now with it to Maxwell. Liggio over to Sundi. Dale's able to get it over. Jazak to McQuillan. Back to Maxwell, and a big spike there by Maxwell as Maxwell's fired up after a big point. As it'll be Yepes coming back in for Jazak. Pirates leading 21-20. Seligman back there for the serve. As Seligman's been one of the grittiest players. Seligman gets it over. Cruciata returns it. Cruciata with the light hit, and it just goes over. Pirates thinking maybe a carry. Doesn't get called. 21-21. as this set's gone on, the Pirates pulled away late in the late, but the Dalers fought back, and right now they're just alternating points, no one claiming momentum, as it's Capolino with the serve to Maxwell. McQuillan back to Maxwell. Spike returned by Marchetti, but no one able to communicate, and a big spike there made again by Maxwell. And here's a replay of just the perfect set and the spike by Maxwell, finding open ground, giving the Pirates a big lead with putting Chang back there with a chance to serve. As Chang serves it, it's returned. Marchetti over Chang. McQuillan over to Maxwell as it's blocked, and it'll be out of bounds off of the Dalers. The Pirates thought so. Ref made the call. Now they're changing the call, as it'll be 22-22 after that call, and it'll be Cruciata trying to serve for the match with how he's been serving today. Cruciata serves to Maxwell. McQuillan. Yepes with the tip over, as they will call
Net on the Dalers, making it Pirates point as Maxwell goes back to serve.
As Maxwell, one of the biggest serves that you've seen on his spike. He just transforms that power and tries to find the open space too, as he's only a junior and he's one of the biggest players on this team.
Maxwell is 22nd in Nassau County with 28 aces before today.
And the serve by Maxwell is up and off the bottom of the net, 23-23. Neither team able to pull away, as it's McNamara serving. McNamara back for the serve now, as he serves it over to Seligman. McQuillan, Chang with it off of Marchetti's hands, 24-23, as it'll be Yepes back there serving for the set, trying to even it up at 1. Big serve here for the senior as Yepes over Sundi. Riggio set, as it's Adams over to McQuillan, as Riggio able to get it over, but he will touch the net, as a big set win there by the Pirates with a very gritty point. 25-23, sets are tied at 1.
And a big win for the Pirates, as towards the end of that set, both teams were just going back and forth.
Yep.
And they just took that momentum, and hopefully they can take it to the third set.
Yeah, as you can see here, it's the 4-11 Dales and the 2-12 Pirates. Not two of the flashiest record teams, but they're really putting on a show tonight. As you've seen, just the two juniors showing out on their spikes. You've seen Maxwell with his big spikes to change it, with all of his big stats, 57 kills, 24 blocks, and all those other great stats. And then you have Marchetti, who just started playing volleyball this year, and he's just been spiking the ball all over the court. Those could be two of the biggest players to watch, with both of them with big spikes tonight. As just also both teams with a lot of discipline needed, as the Dalers just need to stay strong coming off of that set loss. They need to stay strong, make their key passes, and just get back on their game that won them in the first set. And the Pirates just need to ride their seniors in McQuillan and Yepes and just get their sets going and get the ball up to Maxwell for big spikes.
Yeah, Jared, I really couldn't agree more. That second set was a very, very tight set. After the first, Farmingdale took a big lead that first set. But during the second set, you could see the Pirates really come together as a team. You could see the pass set spike. And when plays like that really develop, that's when you benefit as a team almost.
And another player who was key for the Pirates in that set was Seligman as the libero. He was able to return Marchetti's spike a couple times. He made key plays there and ended up leading a couple Pirates points. And before the second half of that set, no one was able to return Marchetti's spike.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like setters and liberos are the two positions really that are almost undervalued on a team. Like, you see the hitter get the big hit, you see the blocker with their huge block, but those things wouldn't happen if you didn't have the setters and liberos developing the plays. So you really got to give props to Kyle McQuillan and Braden Seligman out there doing the little things that matter so much in a game.
As both teams rolling out their starting lineups for the start of set 3, trying to get an edge in the first half of the first set.
And volleyball is just a game best to 3 wins. First to 3 wins. So it could go to it could be 3-0, it could be 3-1, it could be 3-2. Those are the scores you could have this game. So right now it's 1-1. So they have the possibility of a team winning 3-1, or it could go to 5 sets, 3-2, and that's really, when you have a second set like that, you don't know how long this game is going to go because both teams really do show very equally.
As it looks like it'll be the Pirates serving here, and it'll be Junior Maxwell back there to try and get the Pirates off to a high note to start the set. And the serve here by Maxwell is up, and it is over. And the Dalers able to return it, but it'll be too many hits on the Dalers as Maxwell with a strong serve to get the Pirates a 1-0 lead.
On that play, that serve was initially so hard that it just put them really out of system, which made it hard for the return as Jake Maxwell serves again for the Pirates.
As the Dalers able to fight it over, as it's Chang now with it, over to Yepes. Adams gets it over, as it's Marchetti with the light hit. McQuillan now with it. Adams, and it's over, and a big point there by McQuillan.
Very exciting play. You saw Riley Adams, the outside hitter, set it up to setter Kyle McQuillan. And Kyle, what a beautiful kill. Beautiful kill. I want that in a replay later because I want to see that again.
And the serve by Maxwell not able to be handled yet again, as 3 strong serves to start the set by Maxwell. The Dalers are struggling to handle those first 3 serves.
It's very deadly when a team has a first server who's so great, and now the ball's going to go back over. Riley Adams going to set it up against McQuillan, who's going to tip it right over the block.
As it's Funzel now with it, as Cruciata over to Maxwell. Yepes, Adams will be blocked. Chang now with it, up, and Yepes blocked, but it'll be net and Pirates serve as they get another point. 4-0 Pirates.
So the refs are actually going to call lifts on that. What a lift means is that the player had their hands open and almost picked up the ball, which is illegal in volleyball, as Maxwell is going to put that one into the net. But a great run of serves there by Jake Maxwell, getting the Pirates an early lead to start the game.
As it'll be sophomore McNamara back there for the serve, as McNamara to Adams. McQuillan to Adams, and Adams is blocked. Maxwell able to pick up the ball. Adams back there, McNamara. As it's Funzy and
the Pirates on that play just struggled to get a block up. The play was very quick, which really gave the middle the option to go wherever he wanted on the court. And he was able to just throw the ball to the ground where the Pirates really weren't able to get that up. And now you have Seligman receiving the serve. You have McQuillan out to Adams, going to tip it over the block. You have a set to the outside on Farmingdale, and they're going to block it right down there. It didn't penetrate over the net enough to get a block back over on that play.
As Marchetti's spike had just enough velocity that the Pirates couldn't handle it. As it's Seligman up to McQuillan to Yepes. Yepes now with it into the net, as it'll be 4-4 as the Dalers have fought back. After the Pirates got 4 straight, the Dalers fought them right back.
It's very important in volleyball to be able to not really fall into the highs and lows, to just stay steady over the game. You don't want to fall into a pocket of not being able to get it over the net, get a kill, things like that. As now we have Adams going out for the hit for the Pirates. Going to hit it just out. They're going to call no touch on that play, and it is going to be Farmingdale ball, putting them up 5-4.
As McNamara with a big serves here, as it's up, and Seligman to McQuillan. Yepes returned by Marchetti, as it's Funzel now with it, as Maxwell able to get a hand on it. Chang, Adams now, Cruciata. Funzel over Marchetti, off of Adams. Seligman back over to Adams. Cruciata lays out, able to keep it up. Marchetti back over. Yepes to McQuillan, back to Yepes, as it's Funzel And the play there is out, as it'll be a tough point earned by the Pirates to tie it up at 5.
You know, plays like that, they're so long. That little error at the end, that play could make or break a team, really give momentum to a team. And that one is going to be over the Farmingdale Marchetti's head, but it is going to be in, which gives the Pirates an ace.
Big ace there by Yepes. Just a very strong serve, what they needed, as he's just been piling up the stats. As Yepes over, and it's Funzel over to Marchetti. Adams with the dig, but not able to be handled by the Pirates to tie it up at 6.
And you know, those plays are so integral, but it's really just being able to move around with each other, talk as a team, that's really going to be able to get the team into good camaraderie chemistry on the court.
As what a play there made by Adams, as it's Funzel now with it. Marchetti off of Chang, and it's over by McQuillan. And it's up, and it's tipped off the pole, it looks like, and it'll be Pirates' point, as the Pirates will be making a substitution.
And you know, one key part for both of these teams is having younger players. Right now you have a senior serving for the Pirates.
As McQuillan to Funzel, Marchetti is going to be off the Pirates to tie it up at 7. As Marchetti's spike really making a huge difference.
And one thing that makes Marchetti being able to hit so well is his setter. You know, he's only a freshman, but the person who runs our program, Mr. Stein, his son actually played volleyball last year in middle school with the setter on Farmingdale. So just cool fun facts. Told you we'd tell you one later. That was your fun fact of the night.
As Maxwell now with it. Up, McQuillan. Adams plays it off the top of the net. As that one will be out off the Dalers, 8-7 Pirates.
And now we have Riley Adams going to the back row to serve. Jake Maxwell coming to the front row. You know, I think the Pirates are really going to look to Jake right now as someone who's going to pound the ball on the Farmingdale defense, something they really need, that aggressiveness. As Riley Adams is going to put it up to McQuillan. McQuillan out to Maxwell. Maxwell deciding to tip it on that play.
As it's up there by the Dalers, Marchetti up, Adams with the dig. And it'll be the Pirates, Maxwell with the hit. As it's Funzel over to Cruciata, and it'll be the Dalers' point, tying it at 8 as they look to stay strong, as it'll be Capolino back there serving.
And even on that play, though it was a little long, you know, he tipped it right off the top of the blocker's fingers, and that's why it's going to be Farmingdale point.
As Capolino with the serve, lining it up off of Seligman. McQuillan over to Maxwell, and Maxwell will be out of bounds. 9-8 Dalers.
Now, the libero back to serve for the Farmingdale Dalers.
As Capolino with the serve, it is up. Hit by Seligman. McQuillan keeps it alive. Jazak now with it. As it's Funzel, sets it. Blocked by Jazak. Marchetti to Funzel over. Seligman to McQuillan. Maxwell. As the Pirates not able to get it over. 10-8 Dalers.
You know, Jared, I'm really still thinking about this, that Frenzel, he's a freshman for this team. I mean, it's really incredible as a freshman starting like this. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's very interesting how he's only a freshman, as Maxwell puts too much air on that, especially because his current assistant coach right now was his head coach last year.
I'm still jealous that he got to play volleyball with Max Stein in middle school. I would love to play a sport with Max Stein. Max Stein, if you're listening, we're going to play baseball one day.
As Seligman up, Marchetti with the dig. As it's Funzel, Marchetti, McQuillan. As it's Seligman over to... As it's Funzel with the set. And Cruciato with the spike as Adams able to keep it alive. McQuillan, Maxwell back over. As it's Funzel to Marchetti, Adams. McQuillan over, and the Pirates keep it alive as it's Funzel to Cruciata, and Maxwell not able to corral it. Neither is Yep, as it'll be another long, hard-earned point by the Dalers, as these last 3 points have all been hard-earned
Yeah, very close. You just really need to penetrate over the net on that block, which I think Maxwell's going to get on the next play. As this set is going to go back to Francolini. He's going to put it right over the block.
As a big spike there by Cruciata, as the spikes and plays are really showing off, as it's looking like the Dalers are getting their confidence back, as he forces the Pirates to call a timeout. 12-9 Dalers.
And now let's just take a look at this replay. I mean, what a swing right over the block. He sees the block in front of him, decides to turn cross, and that's how we get to the point. You know, you really only have the libero to beat at that point when you're just going to have a hard swing to 5. And that's really what he decided to capitalize on that play.
Yeah, and with the Pirates having the two big spikers of Cruciata and Marchetti at the net, they've just been key.
And you know, when we talk about big things, one big thing for BMB is the brand new BMB show, The Frontier. You could check this show out every Thursday on the BMB Instagram with host Matt Nadoff. If you search up Bellmore-Merrick Broadcasting on Instagram, you could find it. Comes out every Thursday, and it really just tells you what BMB is doing that week, what's going on around the Mepham community, and it's a great show. Very quick. You get a little pull at the end, and the week after you'll find out the results. Personally, one of my new favorite shows at BMB. Just really a great thing. And you might even get to see a couple highlights from this game on next week's episode.
As Asensio to Adams, as it's McQuillan to Yepes, off a couple Dalers, as it's Funzel, up Marchetti with the hit. Adams, McQuillan over to Maxwell, as he's blocked, but the Dale is not able to get the block over, as it'll be a point there for the Pirates to make it 12-10, as it'll be Chang coming in for Francolini.
Yeah, now Ty Chang going to the back line. I mean, I know Ty Chang. He's one of the hardest workers that you're going to meet. Me and Ty Chang were gym class pickleball partners. We were fantastic. But really in any sport and any realm of life, he tries as his hardest, and that's really an amazing quality that he has.
As it's Marchetti to Funzel, as it's Cagliata, as it's Maxwell, as Cruciata not able to get it over, as it's another point for the Pirates.
And you know, he tried that cut shot again that he had done earlier, but that time he just hit it a little too down low on his hand, and he wasn't really able to get that angle, putting it right into the net. As Chang, what a serve! Tai Chang hits the back line, ace, no one even near touching that.
Perfect serve there by Chang, right down the middle of the court, right on the line. Can't get a better serve than that, as Chang's back there looking to serve and get the Pirates their lead back. And the serve by Chang is up, returned by Capolino, as it's up there off McNamara. As it's Funzel at the net, blocked by Maxwell. As it's Capolino, Funzel, and no one there, as the Dale is not able to communicate for the point, as it'll be a 13-12 lead again by the Pirates, as Chang able to take over the set.
And I mean, what a play there. You saw the backslide with the block. You saw all this communication that went on, and that was really a fantastic play, as now Marcelo is going to hit it from the back row. And McQuillan up to Yepes. Yepes spikes it down. What a hard swing by Yepes. Perfect spot to deep one. No one was close to getting that.
Just a perfect play there made by Yepes. As right now in the front, you have BMB's 3 own Maxwell, McQuillan, and Yepes, who are really just making the key plays at the net. And the serve by Chang is up. Returned by Marchetti. Riggio not able to get there. And another point picked up by Chang.
Ty Chang with all these aces today. I am so impressed by watching this. You know, what are we at? Like 3 in this one rotation?
Yeah, as Chang lining up another big serve. As Chang off of Marchetti. Riggio with the set. And it is blocked by Yepes. Marchetti now with it up. Chang able to get there as Maxwell just out, as it'll be 15-13 Pirates.
I mean, what a good serving rotation the Pirates had there. Just a quick shout out again to Ty Chang. You know, he only plays the back row, but he does such a fantastic job at it that it really just helps his team. As now we have Chris Crucita serving for the Dalers. Is McQuillan up to Yepes. Yepes is going to go off the block and down on the Pirate side of the courts.
As McNamara with a big play there, as he's been one of the biggest surprising players on this team, as he comes up with a big play there to cut the Dalers' deficit to 1. As Cruciata back there for the serve. Cruciata with the serve, it's up. Seligman over to McQuillan, and Yepes with the spike as it'll go in as another big spike there made by Yepes, as it'll be Maxwell back there for the serve, as it's his first time serving since he started the set with the red hot serves.
And for Farmingdale right now, you notice they had a setter change. Now they have Vincent Riggio in for as a setter. He is coming back from an injury over the summer, but they are really looking to this experienced junior setter to kind of pull them out of the deficit they were just in.
As you saw last set, Riggio he brought them back in and made that set close. He had a good 5 or 6 serves, as here's a replay of just the perfect set and a fabulous spike by McQuillan and Yepes.
That duo, they've been together since freshman year. The two of them love playing together, and you could really see the camaraderie that they have as a team and just as a duo.
Yeah, just a ton of kills
great.
by Yepes.
It's so good, the points that you're making.
Thank you, Mr. Patton. Anything else you would like to say today,
I just
Mr.
want to let
Patton?
you guys know that you guys are doing a great job, and BMB would be nothing without the two of you. Carry on, back to you in the studio.
And wise words there by Mr. Patton. What an amazing teacher. I loved having him as a teacher. Fun fact, when I was a baby, Mr. Patton was my neighbor. Did you know that, Jared?
No, I did not. And when I had Mr. Patton, I loved him also as a social studies teacher. And every day I saw him, he always saw when I was carrying around the chocolate, and he always bought one caramel bar.
Oh, he's a great supporter of BMB, and really just such a happy face that you'll see around Mepham. He does run Battle of Classes St. Baldrick's events that we will be covering later this year, but we could talk about that later because Jake Maxwell just had an incredible serve over. Now Riley Adams is going to play it up to McQuillan. McQuillan back to Adams, as what a swing. It is going to deflect off of Marcetti's arms into the ceiling, and they're just not going to be able to get that back. What another great point for the Pirates.
As Maxwell with a key serve to start it all, as it's 17-14 Pirates, as Maxwell with the serve off of the Dalers, as it'll be Pirates point, as another big point there by the Pirates. 18-14 Pirates, as they're looking to try and get hot and close it out.
Yeah, they're going to call McNamara in the net on that play, which really could be a big momentum turn in favor of the Pirates. It's Maxwell. What a serve again, Jake Maxwell. Incredible serving today. Maxwell is going to get it up. McQuillan running for that ball, and it's just going to be a little bit too close to the net to Riley Adams. For Riley Adams to get to it, sorry.
Yeah, as McNamara back there for the serve, as Maxwell is 23rd in the county in aces, and that number has only gone up today with plenty today. As it's the Dalers, as it's Riggio with the set to Marciata, and it's up, and the spike there returned by Riggio. Maxwell over to McQuillan. Adams with the hit now, as the Dalers able to handle it, but it'll go out of bounds, as it'll be a big point there for the Pirates, as it'll be Yepes going back there to serve.
And now we will see Farmingdale switching their setters again with Lucas Frenzel coming back into the game, checking out Vincent Riggio.
Yeah, as Yepes back there looking for a big serve, as Yepes off of Marchetti, as it'll be off the top of the net, as a big point there for the Pirates. 20-15, Yepes stays serving.
Luke Yepes, senior middle, he's just a fantastic player. You've really seen him develop over the past 4 years. What a great middle now. He could jump out of this gym, I will say.
Yeah, as the Dales will be making a substitution, bringing back Asensio, but it'll be Frenzel back there serving, and the serve by Frenzel is up. Returned by Adams to McQuillan. Adams with the spike is blocked. Maxwell to McQuillan. Adams pushes it over, and the Dale is not able to handle the soft hit by Adams. 21-16 Pirates.
Now we have Frank Alini checking in again for Tai Chang. Kyle McQuillan going to the back row. So now we have all 3 hitters front row. So Mepham really has a lot of opportunities on the offensive end.
Yeah, as Frenzel sets it up. Pirates able to keep it up. Maxwell to Adams, who is blocked up. Big plays there by Scott and Asensio blocking it together. 21-17. Dale is serving with Marchetti back there.
A play like that, you don't really have many options. The ball's tight, so then you have a big block. You're just trying to really try to hit it off the block, try to use the block. But if it comes back, it's going to happen sometimes in that instance. As now Riley Adams up to McQuillan. McQuillan in back to Adams, and Jazak's going to try to get it up, but not high enough, as it is going to be Farmingdale point again. The Pirates really need to dig themselves out of the really hole that they're getting themselves into, try to just get out of it quickly, try to capitalize, get the score to 22-18, while Farmingdale's really just trying to push, get any point they can.
As Mochetti with the serve here. It's up. Seligman to McQuillan. Adams. It'll go out of bounds. 21-19 as Mochetti serving. And the Dale is making blocks at the net, forcing Pirates to call timeout. And there's a replay of just a big block there into the Pirates, not able to make a play.
And one thing that makes Marchetti's serve so hard to defend is that his first two serves there, he had a jump topspin. A jump topspin goes very deep. It's going to fall, but it is hard to control. And you know, I like to talk more about sports. We talked about sports talk, but another place where you could see sports is on BMB's Midweek Update. You could check out the BMB YouTube channel to watch the season premiere of Midweek Update. A couple more episodes also are on the BMB YouTube channel now, and it's a new season bringing new stories, faces, and so much more. So make sure not to miss it on the BMB YouTube channel. It's the show that brings you closer to the people and places inside the Mepham and Bellmore-Merrick community, so you want to see it. Jared, have you watched yet?
Yes, I have watched, and if you tune in next week, you may even see some clips of this game, as it's Marchetti up with it now. Seligman to McQuillan. Adams plays it over, as it'll be Capolino over, and the Maxwell to Seligman. Adams with the back hit, as it's up, and a big play there. Adams gets a piece of it, as it's Marchetti. Frenzel sets it up, and it'll be Cruciata with a big spike off of Francolini and Jazak's hands for the big point. 21-20 Pirates. Dale keep on creeping back. Marchetti looking to serve for the tie.
And you can see Farmingdale right here is being very aggressive. Mepham's more going to the tipping side roll shots, but right now Mepham really needs to be very aggressive with some big swings.
As Marchetti is up, Seligman to McQuillan. Adams, as it's Frenzel sets it up, and it'll be off of the Pirates, as it's a big play there made by Asensio, as the Dalers have tied it up.
Just taking a quick look at that replay, I mean, what a swing there that Farmingdale had. Right now, it's a 4-point game, 4 points to 25. Big set, really swings momentum, so let's see how this game finishes up. Seligman up to McQuillan. McQuillan is going to put it back to Adams, going to free ball it over, and now you have Lucas setting it, and it's going to be blocked by the Pirates. Another set to the right side, up by Maxwell. Maxwell is going to push it out to Riley Adams. Riley Adams trying to tip right over the block, and it is going to bounce out of bounds, but I believe that they are going to call a net violation on Adams, as he did fall into the net at the end of that play.
As the Dalers have fought all the way back to now leading. The crowd does not agree with that call, but it looks like the call will stand, as it'll be point Dalers.
And you know, Mepham really now, they really want this next point. They want to tie it at 23 game to 3. I mean, they really want the momentum to swing in their favor, as right now we are going to, I'm going to guess jump topspin, by the way, is holding the ball on this one. So it's going to be a deep serve that's just going to fall. I mean, Mepham really does not agree with that call. McQuillan is court captain, going over to the ref, just trying to discuss if the down ref saw the same thing as the up ref, just trying to really get that consensus when they make a call that's so pivotal in this game.
As the refs are talking it over, showing where he hit the net, as it's Marchetti ready, as it
serve.
was jump topspin, as it'll be Seligman to McQuillan. Francolini up, Frenzel with the set, as it'll be
Push over the net. Now you're going to have Seligman hand setting to Francolini. Francolini trying to go over the top. And that is going to be a big miscommunication on Farmingdale's side, falling right between Marchetti and the libero. That is a play that, as a player, you do not want to be involved in. And now Riley Adams back to serve for the Pirates, which means Jake Maxwell in the front row, which is a big advantage for Mepham swinging-wise. It's going to be over the net. Maxwell to McQuillan. McQuillan pushing it out to Maxwell. Maxwell with the swing, tipping it right over. They were not expecting that. The defense got all the way back on their heels, Maxwell puts it right over the block. What a fantastic, smart play by Jake Maxwell, BMB's very own.
As Maxwell keeps making the key plays, whether it's a spike or the light hit like that, he finds the open space and secures the points. As it's Adams up, Frenzel with the set, and it's up off of Seligman's hand as another big spike there by Cruciata to tie it up at 23. As these last two sets have just been really close as it got to the end. And you're just seeing how equal these two teams are, as it will be Capolino back there serving, tied at 23.
And you really, really need to take a look at Chris Cruciata. I mean, he's a junior outside hitter. He's been doing a fantastic job this game. He's one of the reasons this game is so tight, as now you have Seligman to McQuillan, out to Jake Maxwell. Maxwell is going to swing, and they're going to call it landing. Are they going to call it in or out? I believe the line judge is going to call it in, but the ref is going to overrule the call and is going to call it out, putting Mepham up 24-23 game point with Braden Seligman with this serve.
That's a huge serve here by Seligman, and Seligman serves it up off of Frenzel. Frenzel with the set to Cruciata as it'll fall, as it'll be Daler's point. A big point by the Dalers. Puts Asensio back there to serve, tied at 24 as it's now win by 2.
And now we have Mateo Asensio with the ball over. McQuillan is going to set it up to Jake Maxwell. Maxwell rolled to the deep corner. Lucas setting it up to Chris Cassio, and he's going to put it right between Riley Adams and Braden Seligman.
As Cruciata, when they need it most to try and put this set away, comes up with the big spike as it's Asensio serving for the set. Asensio over to Adams. Adams to McQuillan as it's Yepes, returned by Marchetti. Frenzel with the set to Cruciata, and he finds open space. Chris Cruciata celebrates with his team after a huge spike there to win the set and put the Dalers up 2-1. Clutch plays there in that set by Cruciata and Marchetti on one side, and Maxwell, Yepes, and McQuillan on the other. And here's a replay of just that perfect spike by Cruciata to put it away.
That's a really smart play by a hitter, seeing the big block in front of them, making that cut shot once again. He's done that multiple times this game. So at this point, the Pirates really need to reflect and realize, hey, Chris Cruciata, number 12, every time he's hitting, he's trying to go around our block, trying to get the cross-court shot. And maybe that's when you push your block inside the court a little more, give up more of the line, because he really hasn't hit that this entire game.
Yeah, but also that last set, Maxwell was a key part. As I said before that set even started, Maxwell would be a big difference maker, and he was. Even though they didn't win the set, Maxwell still made his key plays from beginning to end, and he'll probably carry that over to the final, to the fourth and what could be final set.
Yeah, I would say Jake Maxwell, really an integral part of this Mepham team. I mean, he's playing outside. He used to be a middle hitter for Mepham, has switched to the outside, a really fantastic passer, great server. He's really an all-around aspect for this Mepham team. And that's what makes him such like a lethal part of this team, that really, wherever he is, he's very hard to stop. What do you think, Nikki?
I agree. I think he's been a huge part in today's game, and I think he's really just been all over the court. Like, he's always ready, he's always there, and he's always ready to get set up and just put the ball away.
And I feel like there's so many people on this Mepham team that really, the team really feeds off of each other. You have Kyle, who's a fantastic setter. I mean, following the shoes of his brother, who's, I think, Mepham Hall of Fame, I could be wrong, setter. Sean McQuillan, fantastic player. You have Jake Maxwell. You have Luke Yepes. He's a fantastic middle. You have players like Riley Adams, who all around the court does a fantastic job. Tai Chang does a fantastic job in the back row. Jay Zach, all these players on the Mepham team. Now it's really, in this game, you really just want to put the pieces together. This is the seniors' last home game that they're ever going to play. So they really just want to end on a high note in this gym, and they really want to fight back. In volleyball, there's such an important part of the game is being able to fight back. I know me and Nikki on the girls' team, there have been a lot of scenarios where we've gone down 2-0, and we really just try to fight back point after point. And, you know, that's something that Kyle McQuillan really tries to do for his team. He tries to encourage them. He's the senior setter. He's the leader. He's the captain of the team. He just tries to encourage them, hey, this game's not over. We could fight point by point and get this back, which is such a key quality for a leader of a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think he just is part of what brings everything together, because if there's, like, he's the one that's getting that first pass up to be set up, and he sets up the outside Jake Maxwell, and the Dalers get it back over to Yepes, to McQuillan, and Yepes is blocked. McQuillan to Yepes, and they're gonna call 4 hits on that.
And you know, that was a really good start of the play by Tai Chang. What a great ball out of the net. But really just couldn't get that third hit over, so that's why the Pirates are going to have to go to 4 on that one.
And the serve is up to Adams. And they set up the outside. Maxwell hits it over. And they set up their outside. And down the line, Chang can't get to it.
You know, Rochetti is really just taking any space between the block's hand and the antenna and just firing it down that thing. If it's hitting one, he's going to hit one every single time. As Chris Cassiata now to serve for the Dalers. McQuillan is going to set it back row to Adams, going to hit a pipe on that one. And now you have Lucas setting it up, and it is going to be blocked by the duo of Jake Maxwell and Luke Yepes.
Adams has been really good this game in receiving those passes on the serve. As Maxwell serves, and it's set up, and they just cannot get that third ball over. And Maxwell goes back to serve again.
We saw the stats from earlier this season. Jake Maxwell, number 23 in the county in aces. And today's game, he's just adding more and more to those numbers.
He has such a strong serve as the Dalers hit it wide, and he goes back to serve for a third time.
Great call there by shout-out Spencer Sullivan. Such a great player, great person. Really just love having them. The coach loves having him on the Mepham team. As Jake Maxwell, another ace. He's really got to be boosting up with those standings. I wonder how many aces he has today and how many places in front of him the person in front of him is. Is he going to bump up? Question mark, question mark. As Kyle McQuillan is going to get his hands on that one, but he's going to fall right before Luke Yepes can get to it. As now we will be having Colin McNamara serving for the Dalers.
And the serve is up to Seligman. And McQuillan sets up Yepes. And the set is to the set. And the Dalers hit it, and it's blocked, but it goes wide.
And it looks like they're going to call that one in the net on Luke Yepes. You know, blocking, it's such an art, really. You know, you have to be so perfect at it, or either the ball's hitting it toward or going to go into the net. So it's so difficult to do, but when you could do it well, it's really going to help. We saw Kyle McQuillan put up a great block on that play. Really just got Farmingdale a little nervous to hit, and that's when Mepham's going to capitalize and take that point. As now Luke Yepes going to the back row, and Jay Zach checking in the front.
And Yepes serves. It's up. It's a bit of an overpass, and Jay Zach just hits it down.
What a fantastic block there by Jay Zach. Really just doing a fantastic job on the blocking end.
Yepes serves again, and they set it up, and it's blocked. Chang, McQuillan.
He's going to go
to
tight,
Adams.
but Adams is going to put it right off of the block, and that is going to be a point for the Mepham Pirates. Amazing play there by Riley Adams.
Yepes goes back to serve again, and the serve is up. It's over the net to McQuillan. He tries to pass it over, but he's unsuccessful, and Jay Zach hits it wide.
Right now for Farmingdale, we have Mateo Asensio checking in, and we have Lucas Frenzel going back to serve. Coach said he has the most potential of anyone on this team, which is really an honor for a coach to say that about you. But now back to the game. McQuillan setting up Adams. Adams trying to hit it wide. Frenzel is going to set it, and it is going to go a little bit tight, but Marchetti is going to get it right over the block and fall right in front of Riley Adams. As now we have the freshman Lucas Frenzel going back to serving again for the Dalers.
And the serve is up to Adams. McQuillan setting up Adams again. And Glabero gets a touch on that, but it goes into the net. And the Dalers are just unable to put it back over.
And on a play like that, Jay Zach and McQuillan being up the net is very intimidating for the other team. are out of system a little bit, just trying to get it over. And you see that big block as now Kyle McQuillan is going to short serve and get an ace. No one is even going to be able to touch it before it hits the floor. So it's a very smart, intuitive play by Kyle McQuillan.
And lots of control on the serve to get it right where he wants it to. As he now serves, and they set up their outside.
And what a touch there by Jake Maxwell. Couldn't quite get it up after Maxwell's touch. A really great touch by him on that play.
Another example of just control and just putting the ball where you want it to go, where there's not a lot of players covering that part of the court. And the serve to Seligman, up to Adams. And they set up the outside, and it's blocked.
And you're going to have a roof there by Anthony Francolini and Jay-Zach being right in front of the block. The block could not get around them. What a great block. And now you're going to have Riley Adams back again to serve with the Pirates.
And the serve is up, and it is just out of bounds.
A play
close
like
serve.
that, you never know, is the defender going to play it even if it's a little out? Are they going to think it's out and fall in? I mean, when you're serve receiving, those are all the thoughts going through your minds.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd only have a few seconds to decide. As the serve is up to Maxwell, and Francolini hits it over. And it's set up to the right side. And Adams, McQuillan, to Jay-Zach in the middle, who puts it away.
Yeah, what a fantastic, smart play by Jay-Zach. In volleyball, it's really a game of smart. Are you going to power hit it? Are you going to tip? What's the best thing to do in that exact situation? It's going to differ every play. But now you have Marchetti passing for the Dailers and Colasansi hitting. What an up by Kyle McQuillan. It's going to be a joust at the net. Luke Yepes gets it over, but they're going to call him in the net on that one. It was a great joust, though.
That was a very great touch by McQuillan. Not much he could do in that situation, as the hit is just so strong coming right at his shoulder, but he kind of just used it to his advantage.
Was a good up. And now the Pirates are going to get the ball back as that serve is going to be right into the net. Tai Chang checking in for Francolini for the serve on this one. Now Chang getting ready for the serve. I mean, he's a solid back row specialist. He covers the court. So far this season, he has 11 aces, 38 digs. Just a player, you want him on your team. You don't want him on the other team. You want him on your team.
He's going back to serve again. And serve is up to the libero. And the
And
setter just sets it over, but they're going to call a net on that one.
That's a tough play as a setter. I mean,
That was
we
very
are
difficult,
both
yeah.
setters, and when the ball's in the net, you have so few options. You're just trying to find any way to save it. So give him credit on that one. Oh, Tai Chang, what an up. Kyle McQuillan is going to put it right over. And free ball kill. Kyle McQuillan. Wowza. He's going to want to watch that one back on tape tonight. FBK. FBK.
That's really important. When you give the other team a free ball, you always want to put it to a good spot. Because if you just give it to a player, it's almost like, we always say, it's almost like giving them a gift. Because it's just much easier to receive than a hit or anything else. So the fact that he put it in a good spot was really important.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I have Riley Adams up to McQuillan. McQuillan to the back row to Adams. Going to contour his body a little bit to get that one over. And now you have another back row swing by Farmingdale. McQuillan up to Yepes. Yepes in the middle, tipping it over. And it is going to be just to the left of that outline. And now for Farmingdale, we have Chris Cruciata, coming back to serve. As he is going to put that right over to Adams. McQuillan's going to joust to the net. They're going to try to get that over. Maxwell, very smart play on the third touch, gets it over. And now Maxwell, it's going to go right off of his hands, bring this to a 15-13 game in favor of the Pirates. Cruciata back to serve again for the Dailers. Cruciata to the middle to Riley Adams, gets it back up. Kyle McQuillan over the shoulder set to Jake Maxwell. What a swing! Jake Maxwell, what a swing.
Jake Maxwell has been such a resilient player. Sometimes in this match he hasn't really, things just haven't gone his way, but he always finds a way to fight back and just get those really important plays like that one.
And Maxwell is going to go back to serve again.
Maxwell's serving has been great this game as well as he serves to libero. They set up back row to Adams, to McQuillan, to Yepes. Yepes is blocked on that one by Marchetti. And now McNamara is back to serve to Seligman, to McQuillan, to Adams. And they set up the outside. Maxwell, it's a nice pass to McQuillan. They set up Adams. And it's over the net. Yepes with the block.
Sorry about that, Nikki. They're going to call that in the net on the Dailers on that play. I mean, what a great play. You have the ball set really close to the net on both sides. You're going to have a bunch of blockers going up, and it's really going to be a tight game.
And now they set up back row again. Maxwell to McQuillan, to the outside to Adams. And the libero gets that one to the setter, and they set up back row once again to Maxwell. Tight pass to the net. McQuillan tips it over. And the Dailers hit is blocked by McQuillan and Jazak. Very great block by them.
And you know, it's plays like this. The Pirates are up 19-13. The Pirates right now, they just want to push. They want to push the push. The Dailers, they want to stop the Pirates' lead. They want to take it back. And now you're going to have Luke Yepes serving for the Pirates. And he's going to serve that one deep. McQuillan's going to put it right back over, block it over the net to increase the score to 20-13 in the favor of the Pirates. What a fantastic game. Nikki, you know what else is going to be a fantastic game?
What?
If you come tomorrow at 11:45
The
a.m.
senior game for the girls.
Yes, so excited. As now let's take a look at that replay. I mean, it's a deep serve. McQuillan puts it right back over. But then back to senior day tomorrow, right? It's the girls. We're going to be playing Mineola. It's our last home, really, season game of the year before we go into the playoffs. It's going to be a fantastic game. Highly suggest you show up. Nikki, what can you say about the game?
It's going to be really exciting. Just a tribute to the seniors.
It's going to be a little sad.
Yeah, a little bit sad, yeah. But it's just been a really great season. All the seniors have been playing great. We've all been really playing well together. And we just had such really competitive matchups, and I think that tomorrow will be the same.
I think volleyball is just an exciting sport. I mean,
yeah, I really do.
Even to being here, watching, commentating, such great things we're seeing out on the court. I mean, all the volleyball players really get along so well. Giving,
Yeah.
you know, them thumbs up when they're out there on the court. And there, what an ace by Luke Yepes. They only got one touch on that on Farmingdale's side.
A little bit of
And it's gonna fall.
miscommunication
Yeah.
on the Dailers.
Yepes over again for the Pirates, as that one is going to be a deep serve. Farmingdale's going to get it back in play. Free ball. Try to free ball over, but it's going to free ball right into the net. The Pirates taking a 9-point lead.
Pirates really taking advantage of the positioning of the Dailers here, as they're playing deep, and it's kind of hard to get to the passes that, or the getting to the serves that are being served.
And Riley Adams, what a swing in between the two blockers. Hits it right off one of their hands, and it's going to fall right to the ground. There is no getting that for the defense. What a hit by Riley.
Now Yepes with the serve, and it's set up to the middle. But he just can't get that one over.
And Jazak with that first block, but the second time the Pirates just couldn't get up there. And, you know, great swing by Farmingdale on that one, as Farmingdale is going to have Lucas Frenzel going back to the line. If you want to take a look of a replay on that play of Riley Adams swing a couple plays ago, I mean, what a swing, Riley. Good job. So Maxwell is going to put it up. McQuillan back to Riley Adams. Can he do it again? And it's going to be returned by the Dailers, just putting a free ball over the net. Tai Chang is going to get it. Tai Chang up to Adams. Oh, again, Riley Adams. with the same kind of swing again. Puts it right between both blockers' hands. Good job, Riley. So now Anthony Francolini is going to check in for Tai Chang. Anthony coming in the front row. And Kyle McQuillan going back to the serving line at game point for the Pirates. And what a strong serve by McQuillan. Chris Crusidi is just going to free ball it over, and it's going to be a little bit too deep. The Pirates can't get there. Just need to talk a little bit more, but they're really going to look to get out of this rotation very fast. I mean, Marcetti is one of the best servers on this Dailers team, and the Pirates really just want to end this game and go quickly into their fifth set. Marcetti with the ball over the net. Seligman to McQuillan. McQuillan pushes it out to Francolini, the lefty. It's going to be blocked, but the Pirates cannot get it back up to put back over. And now Dailers really trying to make their last push in this game.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, it's just really nerve-wracking for the Dailers because, number one, the server has to make at least 8 serves in a row. And then they really can't mess up anything.
McQuillan back to Riley Adams. Riley Adams with the swing. And there's just going to be a miscommunication who's going to get it. But at that point of the game, you just need to say, if it comes down, everyone goes for it. Don't everyone look at each other. Everyone goes for it. Someone get an arm on the ball, get it back, get it over. And now Marcetti going up for another serve. Needs to get 7 more in a row to make this game a tie. Marcetti is going to go to Seligman, to McQuillan. McQuillan back to Adams again. Adams is going to hit it off the block, and it's going out of bounds. And now we here are going to a 5th set in this Mepham gym.
Yeah, I think that was just a really great set for the Pirates. Really gave them the momentum that they needed going into this 5th set.
And just take a look at the replay. What a swing by Riley Adams, and he's going to put it right off of the block, and it's going to go right out of bounds. Incredible play by Riley Adams. And now just to explain the logistical portions of the 5th set. How a 5th set works, it is a shorter game, so it's just going to be a game to 15 points. In that 15-point game, the teams are going to, right now they're doing a coin toss, and it looks like it is going to be Farmingdale's call. So if they take serve, Mepham will get receive. So Farmingdale does have serve, Mepham gets receive. On the 8-point mark, whenever team hits 8 first, they're going to switch sides. So let's say it is 8-4 Mepham, they're going to switch sides, both teams, and finish out the game on that perspective side. A game to 15 is very different than a game to 25. You need momentum from the start. From the start, you need to capitalize on every point that you have. What else do you have to say about this type of atmosphere, this type of game, Jared?
You can't ask for a better game than this. This game is just such a thriller. Seeing a match go to 5 sets is just very exciting. Neither team giving in, neither team giving an end. Because both teams do the right plays at the right time. Just which team will make the one move in overtime to end up putting it away.
And I think the Pirates really, in this game, they really want to capitalize. They want to push. I mean, it's their dig pink. It's their second to last game of the season. It's their seniors' last game in the Mepham gym. Farmingdale, they have the energy too. They really want to add to their record this season. But both teams, they really want this game. It's just going to be a competition to who starts the game better. In a 5th set, that's really what it comes down to.
It's going to come down to that first serve by the Dales. If it's a great first serve, you'll just see how they'll start out. It always starts on that first serve and first serve.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really just, it's something that's essential to the game. And, you know, you really just wonder, how do you start that game strong? What is it that makes you have a strong start to the game?
Pirates breaking their huddle.
Colin?
As it looks like both teams still getting ready. The refs still getting ready.
And, you know, now we really are just getting ready for this, this 5th set, and it is going to just be a really tight competition.
Yeah, as the Dailers and Pirates talking it over before this 5th set begins. Both teams talking, having their front guys talk. Both guys waiting.
And now it looks like it is going to be Farmingdale's serve to start off this set. Farmingdale has chosen to change their rotation a little bit. They are going to have Chris Cressida starting in 1, that means he is going to be their first server. They really understand the importance of starting strong, want one of their best servers serving first, and they're hoping that that'll give them a little bit of a lead to start the game with.
Yeah, as Cruciato looks to keep carrying over his dominant serves and just looks to get the Dalers ahead early here to gain them their momentum.
And I think Mepham's really looking at this, especially rotation, as, hey, this is our chance. We get the ball first. We receive the ball first. We have the first opportunity to score a point in this game. And they're really just going to try to take that and run with it. You know, they're going to get a great pass to Kyle McQuillan. McQuillan's going to put up a fantastic set, as he always does. And the Pirates are really just, they have Maxwell in the front right now and Luke Yepes in the front right now. So they're really just going to try to get a point on this play. As right now, Maxwell is going to put it up to McQuillan. McQuillan up back to Maxwell. And Maxwell's going to try to hit it deep. And they're going to call that just out on the Pirates.
Yeah, as Cruciato with a pretty good serve there to start, but the Pirates were able to give it a pretty easy return, just put a little too much power on it, as it's 1-0 Dalers here. As Cruciato with the serve up, and it's off the net. That could be crucial here in overtime. The first mistake committed by one of these two teams, especially with Maxwell going back to serve, one of the Pirates' most dominant servers all day.
I mean, there's just so much pressure in the serving line, especially in a game like this, but what a great serve by Maxwell here.
As it's up by the Dalers, and Marchetti is blocked by McQuillan and Yepes. Great effort there by Sundi, not able to get it over as he tips it out 2-1 Pirates.
That Yepes-McQuillan duo, just inseparable. Fantastic athletes, fantastic people, closest of friends. They're lethal when they're together. And they're going to call that one just out by Jake Maxwell. Such a close serve. As now, Farmingdale will have Colin McNamara going back to the line.
Yeah, as McNamara will hit it off the top corner of the net, as that's another serve off the net by the Dalers, as Yepes, who's been one of the other Pirates' great servers, and the serve by Yepes is off the net too. 3-3 Pirates Dalers are knotted up, as it's a substitution here as Capolina will come out and Asensia will go back in.
And this is just a portion, now this is a game to 12. It's just about settling down, having your team play strong. And now you have McQuillan setting up to Adams. Adams looking for that deep throw as Lucas is going to set it back row. You have Maxwell putting it up. Riley trying to throw it deep again, is going to throw it deep. 1 on that play. And what a tip/throw by Riley Adams. And now Kyle McQuillan to the back row. Francolini coming in the front. Francolini is such a great blocker. He's a lefty. He has all great attributes to the Pirates, and they're really going to look at his time of being in as a great time.
As Marchetti with it off of Francolini. Yepes, McQuillan up as Sundi there with the play, and Marchetti with the spike, but it'll go out of bounds. Just a little too much power, as it'll be overturned, saying the Pirates tipped it. So it'll be 4-4 as the Pirates had their hopes up going up 5-3, but it gets whipped away and turns into Marchetti serving 4-4.
And Marchetti, he really does have a fantastic serve. Going to go on a float serve on this one. The Pirates want to try to get him out of serving as fast as possible as McQuillan is going to set it. Riley Adams going to hit it deep on this one. Another one of his nice deep tip, throw, kill, whatever you're going to call it. It worked, and it got a point. Another point for the Pirates as Riley is now in the back row and Maxwell moving into the front.
But a key thing, even though from the Dalers you're seeing Sundi put his body on the line, as there's Sundi up, and Marchetti, McQuillan now with it, Seligman, Francolini, back to Frenzel, Sundi, Dalers get it over and out, as it'll be 6-4 Pirates with Adams serving.
And they're also going to call a double on that ball, saying that he illegally touched it going over. So now Riley Adams, it is going to be a timeout that the Dalers are going to call, as Riley Adams will be the next and continuing server for the Pirates.
As the Pirates are happy with so far how they played, and Coach Richards will most likely be saying just keep doing what you're doing. Don't lose your composure and just don't change how you're playing because you're playing great. And
exactly. And if we want to take a look at this replay right here, I mean, what a set, but what a fantastic block by Luke and Kyle together. I mean, just as we keep saying, they just work so well together. And that really, you could see the camaraderie that this team has when they're out on the court. You could see how great friends they are, and you could really see that everyone is playing for the person next to them. That they want to do well so the person next to them can succeed as well.
Whether those two are setting to one another and spiking or they're blocking shots, they're just doing everything.
And now Riley Adams back for the serve for the Pirates. So he's going to put that beautifully over the net.
As it's up there, and the Dalers able to keep it alive as it's Sundi over. Seligman now with it. Up to Francolini. Off of Daler. Trying to play it with his feet as it'll be point Pirates 7-4. Big point won there by the Pirates.
I mean, such a smart hit by Francolini there. He saw he had that single block, decided to put it right off of the block. And the Dalers, they tried to use their feet, but they couldn't quite get it up on that one as Adams is back to serve yet again. And that was a nice pick spot by Adams. And they're going to hit it just wide the Dalers there. And now both teams are going to be switching sides very quickly. And they are going to be coming right onto the court. The ref said no water break, no switching. And they're just going to have a fantastic rest of the game.
As you're seeing by the Dalers here, the stuff that's been working for them, the Marchetti spike and also the Cruciata spike, they've just put too much power on it the couple times they've tried it, and it's gone out both times. But there's still time for them to end up getting that back on track. Still only 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, Jared, but I believe Marchetti's in the back row right now. This is a time they really want to try to get through those rotations quickly. I mean, Cruciata is also a fantastic hitter, but you really want Marchetti in the front. You want Cruciata serving, and you just want to be able to capitalize with your best hitter in the front row while the Pirates want to stay in this rotation. Riley Adams doing a fantastic job serving. What a serve there by Riley Adams right off of the defender's platform. Riley Adams is doing fantastic today.
Yeah, as Adams just keeps on serving, as he keeps inching closer and closer to victory. And the serve by Adams is up, just over the net. Cruciata up, as it's Riggio, as it's Sundi. Seligman now with it, up. Francolini plays it off of Marchetti's hand. Riggio puts his body out there, not able to get the point as he tips it out. 10-4 Pirates. Adams just keeps on serving great and keeps on extending the Pirates' lead.
Yeah, and I mean, Riley Adams is just doing a fantastic job. And another ace by Riley Adams.
As it's now 11-4 Pirates. Just keeps on going their way. Everything going in the favor of the Pirates. Adams serving great. Another serve by Adams is up and over off of Sundi. And Marchetti can't handle it. Adams with another great serve. 12-4 Pirates. Adams is taking complete control of this game.
And I mean, I've seen Riley play many, many times, but I think this is his best game of his career. He is playing fantastically. Riley Adams, amazing.
And the serve by Adams yet again is up off of Sundi. Riggio up. Marchetti plays it over. Adams to McQuillan. And it Pirates a block there, and it'll be a point for the Dalers.
And, you know, right here for the Dalers, they just want to go point by point by point, try to get a bunch of points in the server, a bunch of points when their next server happens. This Mepham team, they want to cut this server off right now, as Braden Seligman is going to get it right up to McQuillan. McQuillan putting it outside to Jake Maxwell. Jake Maxwell using the net as his advantage. Free ball for the Pirates. It is going to be Riley getting up to Kyle. Kyle to Maxwell. Maxwell putting it over the net.
As it's Riggio now up. And a big block there by Maxwell, but it will go out. So it'll be 12-6 Pirates. As a big point there, won by Sundi, because now the Dale is able to hold serve and maybe start their comeback. As Sundi over to Seligman. Seligman to McQuillan. McQuillan over to Francolini. Sundi with it to Riggio. Back to Sundi over. Seligman to McQuillan. Maxwell with the hit, and it'll be blocked, but out of bounds in favor of the Pirates. 13-6 Pirates.
What a swing by Jake Maxwell on that play. I mean, he really just used the block to his advantage. Did a fantastic job on that.
As it's blocked there by the Pirates. Francolini tipped it. 14-6 Pirates. Just keeps on getting closer to victory.
And, on that play, Francolini would have blocked, and it just hit the Farmingdale player's hand on the way down. I mean, that's a play that you really want to capitalize on. And now it is 14-6 in the final set. Game point for the Pirates. Will they get it here? As Crescido is going to get blocked, but they are going to call a lift on Luke Yepes as he tries to get it back up.
As a substitution here by the Dalers, it'll be Capolino coming in and pulling Asensio, as Capolino will be coming in and going straight to serving, trying to keep the Pirates off of victory. 14-7, Dalers trail, and the serve by Capolino here is up. Received by Maxwell. McQuillan with the set up, and that will do it. A big play there by McQuillan as he's able to close it out. Just a fabulous game played by the Pirates. BMB stars stepping up in big ways. Maxwell, Yepes, McQuillan, and all of them. But this win does not happen without Riley Adams' big serves. Without Riley's serves, that fifth set would have been completely different.
And I feel like there were a couple pieces of this Mepham team that were really, really, really key. Not only in their season, but you could see it in every game. Even today, you see the last game on the court for these seniors. They did a fantastic job. Their dig pink game, they just did a fantastic job all around. And, there's many players that could be a possible player of the game. But today, I don't know, there's one that stands out to me. Could you take a guess, Jared? Just a guess. Give me a top three.
Probably McQuillan, Maxwell, and maybe Yepes.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that a bunch of players played fantastic today, but there's one player who stood out. This Mepham team would not be able to function without the incredible job of BMB star, Mepham setter, Kyle McQuillan. Haley Gardner, take it away.
Guys, I'm Haley Gardner. I'm here with the Mepham player of the game, Kyle McQuillan. So you guys had a big win tonight. How does it feel being part of the game?
It feels great, but it's not just me who's doing this. It's the whole entire team all around. I was able to put the balls up for them, and they were just able to kill them right down. Great game by everyone.
So volleyball's a big game playing together. How does it feel to play with your teammates tonight?
It feels great. I mean, like I said before, I can't do it without them. There's no way I can set a ball without a good first pass. Everything's just so meaningful with them. It's my last year here. It's just all great all around, great energy in general.
So since it's your senior year, how does it feel closing out tonight with the big win?
Feels good, closing a home game for my last home game of my senior year. And it's really sad just thinking about how this is really the end of volleyball in my career. But all around, it's just been such a blast this year playing with all my new teammates.
Thanks, guys. I'm Haley Gardner, and back to you guys in the studio.
It's just incredible how much the McQuillan legacy has carried over. From Sean McQuillan previously, now to Kyle McQuillan, both being the huge leaders of this team and carrying them the big wins.
And congratulations to all the members of this Mepham team for a fantastic game, fantastic season. But until next time, I'm Michaela Dalby. Today I've been alongside Jared Broxmeyer and Nikki Saracini. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's B&B Game of the Week, and have a fantastic night.